Welcome back to Grim and Whim. On today's episode, we're going to be looking at some of the funniest and most bizarre, and honestly, some of them are pretty stupid crimes that people have committed. And honestly, some of them are actually so stupid that they kind of work and the person actually gets away with the crime. But let's go ahead and just hop into our first crazy, bizarre crime. Our first story is about a guy who attempted to eat his own underwear to beat a breathalyzer test. So basically, this dude, his name is David Zerfla. I think I'm pronouncing that right. I'm not really sure. He was 18 years old when this took place. And basically, he was impaired while driving. And, a patrol vehicle, tried to go after him. And, he had been weaving, down the highway. And when the patrol car caught up to him and put him in the back of the police car, David decided to try to eat his cotton fabric, underwear to basically try to absorb the alcohol before he had to take the breathalyzer test. And in court, David said that he ripped the crotch out of these shorts, stuffed the fabric in his mouth, and then spit it out. But one of the funniest parts about this case is that during the court proceedings, there was actually a class of law students from William E. H. Composite High School. They were in grades 11 and 12, and they actually had to be removed from the courtroom because no one could keep their composure, which honestly, I completely understand. I don't think I would be able to keep my composure either. And ultimately, David Zerfla was acquitted of the charge because he actually blew a .8, which is the legal limit. And so, I don't know, I guess maybe he got away with it, or maybe he's a lightweight and maybe he was truly impaired, but maybe not from drinking that much alcohol. Maybe he just can't really handle his liquor. Typically, when people steal things, usually the container holding whatever they're stealing is less valuable. For example, if you go to like a Tiffany's diamonds and you steal a diamond necklace or a diamond bracelet, and it comes typically in like the blue little Tiffany's box. Well, that Tiffany's box is cardboard and is not really worth anything, whereas what's inside is very valuable, the necklace or bracelet. However, this next petty criminal, they decided to steal the container and completely ignore what was inside. And what was inside was beer. They drained beer out of the barrels and only took the barrels. And you might be thinking, that's so stupid. Why wouldn't you just take the whole barrel, with you? Well, you might be surprised to learn, I know I was surprised to learn that the barrels have a much higher scrap value and are worth much, much more than the beer inside. And to transport the barrels out, it's a lot faster and lighter to remove the beer. Basically, this company that was reporting this crime was incredibly frustrated because they're stealing the containers for the beer and also emptying the beer all over. But it's just so crazy and petty that they're taking the barrels, the only way for this company to continue to make and store their beer. Basically, what people do when they steal these barrels is they take these barrels and they sell them to scrap yards. Sometimes they'll sell them online, and all together, however they end up selling up, it's a very, very high price tag for these barrels than if, you were to just buy a barrel's worth of the beer. And while this seems very over the top, metal theft is actually kind of a big deal. It's actually something that happens more often than not. And with the price of metal going up, with resources, depleting, it's actually way, way more worth it for these thieves to try to steal these barrels because, like I said, they get way more from it. Next, we have probably one of the laziest criminals that I've seen, and that is Dennis Hawkins. Back in 2010 in Pennsylvania, Dennis Hawkins, who at the time was 48 years old from Pittsburgh, he shoplifted a BB gun from a local Kmart and then went to go rob a bank. But unfortunately for him, he didn't quite understand the concept of a disguise and what that should be. Usually when you are trying to be sneaky, you want to blend in, but this dude didn't quite get the memo, and he instead wore these super loud, bright clown pants, a blonde wig, and fake breasts, and he didn't even shave his beard. So his attempt to disguise himself as a woman obviously didn't fool anyone. But he kept pushing his luck, and he decided to draw even more attention to himself by going to steal a car from a nearby gas station. A gas station attendant called the police, who apprehended Hawkins soon after. So I believe I saved the very best for last, and this story had me rolling. This happened back in 2011, and I'm actually surprised that I didn't hear about this, but I guess I was in high school when it happened, and so it may have just gone over my head. I was really busy in high school, and so apparently I missed this one, but essentially, this lady approached an undercover officer for $10 worth of cocaine, but all she had on her was $2 and an Olive Garden salad in a to-go box because apparently, I guess she had just eaten there. She told this guy that she would come back later with more money or possibly some gift cards to the Olive Garden. Honestly, the idea of bartering salad for cocaine is already crazy, but the fact that this guy happened to be an undercover cop just makes it even better. So obviously, this woman was arrested and charged with the crime. And she was 32 years old when this happened back in 2011. So hopefully by now, she has gotten her life together and is doing well. But with all that being said, I hope that you enjoyed this. I wanted to try something a little bit different, and I'm definitely thinking of doing it again because I love true crime. I really do, in all of its forms, the good, the bad, and the silly. And so if you liked this, please give it a like, as it really helps me out. Be well, stay safe, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you so much for joining me. It's goodbye for now, but I hope to haunt you again soon.